Nobody's gonna save the world. We can make it a little less shitty. You know? I'm the guy who can help you do that. You ever wonder what it would be like if you could do the job that you were put on this earth to do? You could take out some truly evil people. Not people that the government tells you are evil because based on, policies or politics and bureaucracy or trade relations or any of that shit. No, I'm talking truly world-class evil motherfuckers. I can help you go after those guys. And I will never tell you to not pull that trigger. What would you say to that?
What up? Reese, what up? Riaz, what up?
Boom, the world class. Boom, the world class. Boom, the world class.
What up? It's been a minute, man. You know what I mean? I had a little quick line of the day. Talking about a few things, Corey and all that, and little fuck nigga, little goofy nigga. But yeah, today I'm gonna talk about parenting a little bit, because every time we get to this every time the gender war shit come up, man, my mindset is just go to the source. I was just on Illa panel, shout out to Illa. And like I said, Uncle Jeff was up there, a couple people's up there. And like I said before, I like to get to the root, as they say in the South. The root cause of all the problems. I'm dropping a link now so anybody won't come up. I know I ain't been live in forever, and I know y'all be having, certain people don't be having no fucking channel to go to. Is, I don't know, a damn sense of anything. I don't even know what you want to call it. Let me pin it. I'm going to the phone. I'll pin it to the chat. right quick. But yeah, I'm talking about being a parent a little bit. Hopefully this don't fucking go off. Oh, that's a YouTube with the essence. That's what I see on how to solve the problem is starting at the root, the rut. Y'all make sure I hit the like button. Let me do that. Oh, that's what's going on today. The shit ain't coming on my phone. All right, I don't know what's going on with that. What the hell? Okay, there we go. Pin the little thing. There we go. All right, yeah. Yes, so y'all know if you've been watching my channel, been on my channel for a while, since it's 4.5, if not 5 years, I've been on YouTube, and I always trying to big up for the babies, because when I exist, anyway, as long as I exist, the children and the dead and the innocent, they will always have a voice, and regardless of where conversations might be at the time, at the end of the day, they're gonna pay. The people that die for us to be here are the ones that's gonna pay the worst, because those are the ones that who can't fight no more, right? They got a big voice, and they got a stake in it, and they're not there. And a lot of what they represent, children, the dead, is primarily the truth. Our dead ancestors that never got a chance to do what we do today, but they would have did different. How they would have did it, how I exist is, I'm not going to be the one to allow shit to go on with their face walking around. Hold on, what's up? All right, my bad. I'm back. Will, what up? What's going on? Yeah, so my thing is it's just no pride, and I in the right places, and I don't know, man. I have no idea. I don't know. All I know is I came to this space like I could just be in the Moorish community. I could just be in the communities of people that know what I know. People that got the skill I got, talent I got. I could do that, but that's not going to change anything. My position is that the talented, the strong, we here in a way to compensate for the weak, And like I always quote, like that shit they said on Spider-Man, is that when something bad happens, it's our fault, because we are given the strength that we have and this ability that we have to be able to, like I said, compensate, true compensation, true correspondence. And it's on us, the fortunate, the gifted, the blessed, or however you want to look at it, to mitigate erroneous, outlandish, intolerable behavior and conditions. That's what you're given strength for, not to flex on everybody. What's going on, San Jose? What's going on, sweetie? That's not what we're given strength for. That's not what we're given knowledge for. A lot of times y'all see me trashing these people online in these debates. It's because it's for a different reason. It's not because I know I'm better than them. And I will tell them that because the shit I'm talking to, I know most of the time it's not even fucking human. Or it's not human at the time. And that's a lot of misconceptions that people have. I'm not really dragging you because you're a human, or dragging you because you're not. Well, at least you're not being at that particular moment. Because I wasn't given all of these. Let me just make it clear. I don't know the stuff that I know and study like I studied to fight my people. I thought these white people and these Jews were actually good at what they do. I thought they were actually smart. Then I found out they're fucking not. I found out You know what I mean? I was under the impression these people were truly educated and were formidable. And I found out very, very quickly that is not the case at all. Um, it's not at all, especially the Jews, the ones, I'm sorry, the Khazarians pretending to be Jews, because to be a Jew, you would have to be a Yahweh. And to be a Yahweh, you would have to be a Moor, to which they're not. Okay, so they're not Moors, so they're not Yahweh, and they're not Jews, so they're definitely not Hebrews. So through all the conversations that go on, it always boils down to being a better parent. And I share as much as I can, because I know that's made the difference in my life, not even as a child, but as an adult, being able to be a godfather, to be an uncle, and to be a dad in that order, has allowed me to grow up exponentially. It's really allowed me to, through my babies, address my ineptitudes, at least in my upbringing, and I say false transference or false inheritance of bad parenting, creating bad environments that I can now see, oh, that's what's wrong with me. I can look at what's going on with them and go, oh, that's what was wrong with me. Oh, that's how that starts. That's how a child get greedy. This is how you become disrespectful. And all my babies, peace be upon my niece that was killed last year, none of them are disrespectful. Like I've been putting on my Facebook, the people that's close to know what's been going on with my child, with my son. He's been doing fucking awesome since. But I have the most well-behaved child I've ever been around him, I've ever seen in my life. And that's and I think babies need to hear that. They need to know that. Because for them it's normal. They just being themselves, but they need to understand how important what they're doing really is. And I think that's the little things. One of the things I learned when you get into private education, private information, that the public is not readily privy to. One of the things they teach you is that you don't know what you don't know. One of the parts what that is, you don't know how right what you know already is, i.e., letting a baby know you behaving well on a random Tuesday at 4 or 5 p.m. is extremely important. You're allowing daddy and mommy to rest. You're allowing a peace in the house to exist. It's important. And I don't think we stress that. We'll stress Christmas and Halloween and Easter and birthdays. Stress that, oh, we're going to celebrate just because we didn't die between this time frame. We don't celebrate real success. We don't celebrate their accomplishments. My son asked me, he said, well, Dad, why don't you celebrate holidays? I teach him because every day is a holiday. Every single day is a holiday, because go one day without it and see how that works. It creates dissociation. It creates neglect when you have these retarded things that, one, don't mean anything. The only thing the baby knows is, oh, I get to do stuff on this day. They don't really give a shit about the day. You don't really give a shit about the day. All you know is they're going to let you do stuff when this day comes. It has no real value to you. You don't know what the words mean. You don't know where it comes from. And everything about it is dumb. Fundamentally, if I'm waiting 365 days to, like today's, I think, Valentine's Day, right? I'm waiting 365 days to show you I love you. It's not a possibility I love you. If I show you I love you through stuff from the store once every year, is that love? How much sense does that make? What's the other 364 days? What the fuck are you doing? What am I? It teaches poverty and stupidity, stuff that don't make a fucking inch of sense. Meanwhile, the real growth that the babies are doing, that's not celebrated. The only thing consistent in the ancient world similar to this is astrological days, where we all are being influenced by astrological positionings of the earth. We know it's real because we got winter, summer, spring, and fall. We know the position of the earth affects the planet. We just got that blizzard, so we know it has some effect. You know what I'm saying? And one of this, and it's like, you think, oh, this is just a world class thing. No, my mentors told me this thing. He told me he's the first person to point that out to me. He was like, I hate holidays, and it's not a hate for me. It's just a better understanding. I'm like, why do you hate holidays? He said, because they get in the way. I said, well, what they get in the way of what? Well, the whole world shut down, and for what? And then he showed me finances, and all this stuff kind of has everything to do with everything. And he like, these people going to go in debt for a day. Watch this shit crazy, bro. You're going to go in debt for a day called Christmas. For what again? And if it's for that, oh, because you love your children, why weren't you doing that the whole year? And once he said that, I was like, yeah, that fucking shit don't make any sense. For a day that don't mean anything, what's going on, Liberated? What did he say? He said, hell no. He said, whatever you talk about is your fault. Yeah, he said, but look out, bro, what's going on? So it's just thought processes like that I mean, a few things that began giving me an idea to what is thinking. He always used to say, peace be upon him, because he passed away last year too. Last year was a tough year for me. But it's just all right. You know, it happens. You prepare for that. I wasn't prepared for my niece, but he prepared me for that. And he used to always say, you got to think about what you're doing. What's your thought process? Thought process. How do you process thought? When something happened, how do you process it? And he would say stuff to me throughout the time I was with him that it would piece together. But once that it's like, if you think, it'll piece you together. So he'll say, what's your thought process? You got to think about what you're doing. Then the other thing he said is success is a process. When you cheapen the process, you cheapen the product. So when you go through your thought process, don't cheapen it. But that's something you got to catch when you're learning from somebody that gives a fuck about you. I'm from Liberty Heights and Gwinnett Oak. He was from Park Heights and Pimlico. That's Northwest Baltimore. That's only big street between Park Heights and Liberty Heights is Ricestown. I think he might have been before Cold Spring, but that's my side of town. So, you know, he found out who my dad was and he kind of taught me a little bit more, you know, gave me a little extra than he normally would have. But it's stuff like that to get me to thinking, you know, where's this stuff come from? Where did you pick up all these habits? I got the book. And like I said, if y'all ever want me to send you these books, I got PDFs and shit. I'll email them to you. The ones that can fit, the ones that's not too pause. The ones that can fit is crazy. The ones that's not too big, pause. That's crazy. The email, you know, the ones I can email you, I'll email you. It's called Millionaire Mindset by T. Harv Eker. And half of the book was how broke people think and how rich people think. And one of the things he said was, every time you have a big problem, all that means is that you're being a small person. And which was another nod to think bigger or whatever. So when they go to the holiday shit, that they train children to be waiting all these days that I'm gonna get treated right on my birthday, but all this fucking days in between that is fuck me, which don't make any sense. But every day you're supposed to go in here and do the school shit and make me look good. Which I find when I look at how my goddaughter is, how my niece was, and how my son is, when you want a confident, loving, well-behaved child, that's why all of them was like that with me. My son is just exceptional, but he's my child. Yeah, Secrets of a Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. The one thing I do with my child, any one of the children, is I treat them, when it comes to what they call love, I treat them exactly the same way that I did when they was infants. Obviously, when they're infants, they're toddlers, they're getting bigger. All it is you're transferring responsibility on their care, from you caring for them to self-care. But the way you love them is the same exact way. My son is behind me now. The same little bites I gave him when he was an infant, I give him now. The same way I talk, I give him the same baby name. I don't change the way I love them at all. And what I've seen is, what I've noticed to be a problem, and why I started doing that, is because you see in children that they will begin to wonder where all that love was when they was a baby. And they start to try to do extra shit to get that love. Now, he doesn't know nothing about that love, you know, about that problem. What's up, Freezy? What's going on, Freezy? Man, I appreciate the work you've been doing, bro. Appreciate it. It's allowed me to sit back and talk about other shit. I'm talking about parenting right now. Anybody, y'all can come up and talk about anything if you want, because I know I've been gone for a minute, but I got to get it out. So I always looked at that as something that I want parents and, you know, uncles and aunts and grandparents and godparents and big cousins, big sisters and stuff, like big brothers and stuff, to look at. Is I've noticed that in our community, it's such a dramatic difference from how infants are taught to how toddlers are. Infants are treated how toddlers are treated, how toddlers are treated to how little children are treated, how little children are treated to how preteens are treated, and how preteens are treated to how, you know, teens that are about to be young adults is treated. And I just find that you see those babies beginning to, those younger people beginning to, after a while, operate and act in a way that's the way they're trying to search for that. You know what I'm saying? But they're young and don't know that they're missing it. You know what I mean? And what I always committed to do when I watched it was, I'm going to love you the same exact way. And what I've seen is that all my babies are so confident, right? They're very confident in the fact that they know I love them. And if I say do something, they know I got their back. They know I'm not, because I do it with them. You know what I mean? And their identity is intact. They are respectful because there's no void in who am I? You know what I mean? And at least when they're with me, you know, they got a place that they can call home. And I noticed the thing that it's different. You know, I will be the first to acknowledge that children respond to men in a way that they don't respond to females. You know what I'm saying? Mothers and stuff. Babies will respond to their dad in the way they don't respond to their mom, which is fine. But I noticed that when you give them a consistent, appropriate, as it should be kind of emphasized a little bit more, appropriate amount of love meaning care, not meaning affections, not meaning facial expressions, not meaning happy, love meaning what it actually means, and how you care for them is the same exact way, which goes into stuff like holidays, goes into what are you celebrating, because that's what you, as you're writing in the book of who they are, you're highlighting certain things. I'm highlighting integrity, honesty, and discipline. I'm highlighting competence and the type of character you are, not because we didn't die for 365 days. Celebrating time is crazy. It don't even make sense because time doesn't dictate whether you're disciplined or not. Time doesn't dictate whether you're respectful or not. It don't dictate that for you developing your character. As me, a person looking at you, I can look through time and see if you are a disciplined person or not. But that doesn't, it's not going to happen. It's no osmosis. It's not going to happen through osmosis. My mentor used to say that. But you think it's just going to happen by osmosis? No, that's not how they work. So all of it, not only if we get into the reality of it, but what is a birthday? What is Christmas? Birthdays is fucking retarded. Oh, it's my 32nd birthday. Oh, okay. How many times was you born? You was born 32 times? I just shut the fuck up. That shit's stupid. That doesn't make any sense. If you got married on July 2nd, 2011, and now it's later on in July, it will have been what? 15 years? That's called an anniversary, right? So that's an anniversary. That's not a birthday. You only have one of those. So why the fuck am I celebrating my 20th birthday? Doesn't make any sense. It's dumb. It's the words tell you that it's fake. It doesn't make any sense. You don't even know what the word birth means. It means to be sitting in water. It don't mean that you were born. It's just shit that's just, we accept stuff at such a piss poor level. I've seen so many, like the identity, like when you start with this, identity is everything. Identity is everything. Being able to have, when you have, what's going on, Doug Will? When your identity is intact, your ability to identify will be consistent with that identity that's intact. And when you teach children, what I see a lot of our people do in our community is we're so afraid of our children figuring out that we're not good enough. We want to undermine their ability to identify with stuff like stay in a child's place. Well, if I'm staying in a child's place, stop saying grown people shit in front of a child. Stop putting my motherfucking the goddamn light bill on my name then. Y'all don't want to do that part though. You see what I'm saying? Like, so other things like, and I want you to go in. I just got a few things I just want to make sure I get out of my brain. In addition to keeping an the same standard, appropriate amount of love for your child or your little one that you take care of throughout their life, I think is essential. What's going on, Joy? The other thing is, I guess on the negative side, right? is not saying the stuff that we say. These fucking kids get. Now, me saying this right now is the first time my son is going to hear me say this out of my mouth. I don't say this shit in front of him. These fucking kids get on my fucking nerves. They keep. I can't do nothing because of these children. Like shit like that is crazy. I don't know why people think that shit is okay. Because if you was in a relationship with a woman or a man, respective to whatever gender you are, you don't want to hear no dumb shit like that. You don't want to hear I can't do nothing because this bitch is in here. Like you, why? So why would you tell it to a child that's developing? Why would you say that in front of them? Because literally you're telling them that I can't do nothing because of this child. I'm so glad. Oh, we about to be kid free. What the fuck is that? Why the fuck do y'all do shit like that? It don't make any sense. This is a whole person. I treat children like they whole human beings that just happen to be little. They don't deserve. They don't have. Well, how should I say this? They're in no less need of respect than an elder. They need respect just like you need respect. They need care just like you need it. They just happen to be little. They're in a position where they're dependent on your level of care for their survival. But if you don't want disrespectful stuff to be said in front of you, why the fuck do you say it in front of children? If you listen to these females complain about men, I'm like, well, little girl, if I go ask your child the same stuff you're saying about men, is they going to be able to say the same thing? Do you financially abuse your child? Do you rob them of their voice? Do you rob them of their faculties and agency? Do you make everything about you? Do you do that? So it's just, and then we go, well, they children. Well, no, where the fuck do you think all these adults come from? They were little before. You know what I'm saying? So it comes from somewhere. Getting down to the root of where things come from is being a parent. How are we going to solve the gender war? How are you going to solve the financial deficit we have? Is being better parents only. You got to stop the bleeding. So those are two concepts I want to make sure I share. One, giving a standard, appropriate amount of love throughout their life. And I'll tell you the purpose of why. And also not saying disparaging things in front of children about them. I talked in the last live, so we'll couple these three for the purpose of, I'll just say that next. Like little stuff like listening. Listening. All right. I want my child to listen. Okay. So you want your child to listen. So if you want your child to listen, why are you yelling at them? If you was in a house, so why are you yelling at them more than once? If you was in a house and you was watching TV or listening to the radio and you thought somebody was breaking in, would you turn the radio up? Would you turn the TV up? You wouldn't. You would turn it down so you could hear. And I think if you wouldn't turn it up so you could hear, you wouldn't do it twice. You want the baby to listen, but you're yelling from upstairs or you're yelling right in front of their face. When you do the yelling, you're doing all the listening for them. That doesn't teach their brain to listen when you're doing all the yelling. And then when you do it multiple times, don't go in there, don't go in there, don't go over there. You're teaching the baby they got 6 and 7 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 8 and 26 times before they got to fucking listen. So you're training them to not listen, then you punish them for that. And these three things that we need to be able to make as normal as we say all the shit that we say to be able to do this purpose, just to begin to do the purpose that we should have as a people, and that's preserve innocence. So we can have adults that still have their innocence intact. So we're not creating demons and then whining about it, because to me, it looks intentional at this point. So I'm glad you came up. Will, what's up with you? I just wanted to make sure I got that up. It was on top of my brain. We up?
No problem.
What's going on, Atlanta?
You know, the children topic, because you know my situation. And so
the
children topic
right.
hits a little closer to home.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the problems with the whole parenting thing is a lot of people forget what the function of sex is for. Is not It's not just to get a nut. That is a byproduct. The primary function is for children. It's like eating. The primary function of eating is to nourish yourself. Not the fact that it tastes good on your taste buds is incentive to make you do it.
Exactly.
Because if food didn't taste good, most people wouldn't. No one would be fat. Right. So if sex was relegated to just procreating, most people wouldn't have sex. It just wouldn't be a thing. So when you talk about children, and some of this stuff is people just don't know. They don't have the knowledge because they wasn't taught to them. But some of us, these people did not want their children. Let's just keep it a buck. They were just.
Hold up, bro. Hold up. We back. Hold on. I mean, we back. Man. That's that right there.
Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, they were just fucking. and a baby happened to come, you know, so no pun intended. There was actually a fire point you make. I heard what you said on the last stream talking about why would you yell at your kids? I mean, like, it's just logical. Like, you can't think when there's loud stuff around you. You can't hear. You're not processing the information. If I'm blaring a stereo and I'm trying to get you to listen, I can't hear you, motherfucker. Like,
exactly. My three babies, the babies I've helped the most, my goddaughter, my niece, and my son. Even my goddaughter is 25. So this is how long I know it work. Right, it'll work right now. When you get close to them and you speak to them like they're fucking human beings, they will respond in the way you want, because this is the child you wipe their butt. They was looking in your eyes when they got their first milk, when they got their first fruit, a little mushy stuff they ate. They love you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you are you're the closest thing to God to them. You gotta remember when you were little, you know what I'm saying? So they want to make you happy so bad, and they just don't know how to do it. Right. And people, I think people don't understand how much, like when you get a new parent, they don't realize how sleepy, how tired a baby be, because they're not like us. Them babies, them infants, when they're born, they're in a tremendous amount of pain. I don't think people understand that. They're in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
They're in a tremendous amount of pain, right?
And
These little babies.
This,
go ahead.
You know, my son was premature. He was bruised all over his body.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you don't think about that. No. Granted, he was premature, so his body wasn't developed like it was supposed to.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that another 10 weeks, he would have went through the same process, just with a more developed body. But it's like it's like birth, like giving birth is a traumatic experience for the mother and the child.
Absolutely. For both of them. Absolutely.
Like I heard it say one time, you're pushing something the size of a small watermelon out to something the size of a lemon.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to be a pleasant experience for either one involved.
Exactly. If all the people think they just crying because they infants, no, they're in pain.
Yeah, that hurts.
Because when they coddled, they stop crying. They're like, they're in pain, right? That's birth. Then as they're growing up, them first 3 years, they're in pain growing. They're growing the fastest in them first 3 to 7 years than they will ever grow in their life. They are tired. And then they're babies. So they're
always tired.
They're going through, they are not holding back. When you see a tiny little infant swinging their little arms, they're using all the energy they have because they don't have no muscle control. They're going full send. They be tired. They go through a lot.
Even before that, because my wife's brother and his wife, they have twin boys and girls. And like my nephew, he's no boy with he's got a lot of energy and all that, but he's always like tired, but he fights to sleep. Because he's very you can tell he's gonna be a people person, because he always wants to be around people and see what's going on. But like at the same time, it's like he's exhausted. And like, bro, just go to sleep. But like his mind is like, oh man, there's people around, there's stuff's going on, let's see what's going on. But his body just can't handle all that. So that's why he's always tired, even fighting through sleep all the time.
So their body is going to be is something they don't understand. It's going to be the most influencing thing on their life. Then they got to deal with all these people walking around, all these colors, all these smells. It's a lot they're going through. While their brain is developing.
And by the way, their brain is going through overdrive. Like their brain is processing stuff at warp speed. And as an adult, you know, when you process information, that can wear you out. So imagine a child.
Absolutely. They like us. That was the point of me setting that up, is to get right here when it comes to the brain. And there's my other point that I had to make sure I got out. We on fucking YouTube and StreamYard, and I got the OBS and shit, and I stuff all this different shit. We done had so much. What's going on, Shakespeare? We talking about parents and being a parent today and children today, because you got all the pedo conversations going on. But so I don't got to do I already did my job. So it's like, what's the other side, right? You know what I'm saying? You have. Yeah, bro. It's going on. Them shits Corey said was crazy.
Corey said, and then I don't know if you saw Freezy's show yesterday, and they're reviewing that Room 9 panel, and they were talking about the girl from the R. Kelly tape that she released her book or whatever, telling her story. And that panel they were talking about that, and Freezy, I think Taz was reviewing that, and I was just listening like, what did these niggas come from?
It's bro.
Like, I don't understand this shit.
I'm gonna get to that.
Well, she was a hoe, and she's doing like, okay, let's and I don't mean to digress from the situation, but okay, let's I talk to myself out loud. I think out loud better, so I can make sense of what I'm saying, right? I'm just thinking, okay, let's go there for a second. Let's say this 14-year-old she just gives it out to whoever wants it, right? For whatever reason. Maybe she was abused, or maybe she just is an overly sexual person at 14. And she's giving it out to every boy in her school, right?
Yeah.
If one of the male teachers, she offers it up to one of the male teachers and he takes her up, they don't absolve that motherfucker, bro. Like, what are we saying?
Yeah, but that's
like I don't understand what I'm not expecting a 35, 40, 45, 50-year-old man to be operating on the same level as a 14-year-old child. Even if she is giving up to literally every boy in the school, that's a grown ass man. He should know better.
Yeah.
I don't, bro. My new saying for life is, this is why I stay in the house, because these motherfuckers outside are weird, bro. Y'all are weird, and y'all weird or mentally ill, and I just don't have the patience to deal with y'all. I stay in the house. I go to work and go home.
I'm gonna say the same thing I said about the pedos in this space. At the end of the day, I'm glad the internet exists so you can show me exactly who you are, and I'm gonna touch on that in a second. But let me just make sure I get this part out.
Yeah, go ahead.
I talk about parenting a lot because what I watch is incoherence. I watch a lack of correspondence. We have in this community, whether you think, no matter what the side you on, right? No matter if you on this side of the gender war, that side of the gender war, everybody talk about we're going up, technology is advancing, we're advancing. The thing that has not advanced at all is parenting. It has not got a DLC. It has not been updated. And if you think it has not. Cocoa Melons or fucking tablet has nothing to do with us being better parents at all. A walkie-talkie in your room, none of that stuff in technology has anything to do with us being better parents. We have been outdated. I don't think there's been no advancement. It's been anything but an advancement since the 50s. It's been a decline, if anything. We done went back to analog at best.
All that stuff is really just. It's not an advancement in parenting. It's a way to get you to not be a parent.
That's all we've done is to find ways not to be parents.
Because what I don't understand. Because me and my wife, when we were expecting, we were planning this stuff out. I didn't understand the point of having walked in. Why does a baby need to be in a separate room?
Absolutely, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
We're not talking about,
I did not do that.
We're not talking about like, okay, once you get up, 3, 4, 5 years old, okay, because they do say that once you don't want them to be. Was it when they like lay in the bed with you all the time because they won't sleep in their own bed? Well, we're talking about a newborn, 1 year old.
Newborn. Yeah.
Why does a baby need to be in a separate room from the parents?
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. They're supposed to self-soothe. Nigga, my son was in the hospital first 90 days of his life.
Right.
He only went to sleep.
You know about the NICU experience.
Yeah. Yeah, nigga.
My son only lived for 30 hours, but I mean the NICU is a motherfucker.
And I seen that. The first day I was in there, the first week we was in there, a baby died right next to my son.
Yeah, it's a motherfucker.
It's bro. This the look on the parent, bro. Whew, man, and what y'all had to go through, bro. I seen it,
bro. I literally wouldn't wish that on the worst person on earth.
Bro,
they can die.
The
actual person can die, but they had to go through with that child. I wouldn't wish it on the worst. And it's a sucky situation because unless you've been through it, you wouldn't understand it. But
I'm sitting there,
but since you've been in the NICU type of situation, you get it.
It's like, I hate this word feel, but you literally when you look at that they in there, they standing over the incubator, and then it's just nobody in there no more. Like that shit hit you, bro. Shit, man. I wish that on no. I wish no NICU on no parent, especially not no new parents like we was. Man, that shit was the most top 3 most taxing things I've ever been through in life.
Bro, when after my after he passed, like that level of grief.
Yeah, bro, that's a lot.
Because I lost my grandmother, I lost several of my uncles, I lost friends, and I thought I understood grief, bro. I'm talking grief of your body. You literally are not controlling your body.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah,
and I don't know. You got my contact. We can talk about more offline, but like I don't want to go too deep to it on public. But it's like it's a whole different type of feel. Like you literally are not in control of your body.
Yeah,
it's a different level.
Even when it affects
in a level
you,
I wouldn't wish on anybody on the planet, because you just
it got to the point. I think I've said this online before, where the hospital that my son was in, even after he got out a year or two after, you know that little sound you make when you get your ass whipped, and I would have that driving past the hospital because of the stress and trauma that I had to prepare myself. I had to push that shit away because I had to make sure they don't give him the wrong shit. Be there for his mom, watch everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm being my brand new biological parent to the first time in the damn NICU. So it was a lot. But, so it's tough, man. So but when
and to the brother bring, and I don't mean to cut you off because
no, you good.
When you were talking about people being annoyed with the kids, I wish I could be annoyed with my son.
That's what I'm saying. I wish
he was here to cry and keep me awake, and because because me and my wife being married, it'd be 11 years in November, right? And we tried.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And we tried for a long time, and we kind of just gave up on it because we were trying, it just didn't happen. And then he actually was a surprise. Because I kind of given up on it. We tried. Okay, it's what it is. We'll just do our thing and be the cool uncle, auntie, and spoil our nieces and nephews. And so when he came, it was just like, oh crap, he's here now. All this stuff we've been planning years prior. Okay, now we got like a crash course and get back into it. And now that he's going, it's like back to the same old mundane. You know what I'm saying? It's like you work weekend, you spend time together. But it's like it got like the work week for me goes by super quick because I do a job that's real repetitive. Like it's not like something I have to really think about. I can do it in my sleep.
Yeah, you can just drown out.
Half time I'll be listening to y'all niggas on YouTube when I'm working. So it's like but like to go from expecting all that and then now that's go back to mundane, it's just like whatever. And it's like to hear parents complain about their children, it's like, motherfucker, you got them.
But it's as you said, they didn't plan for them. We planned. This was crazy. I thank the Most High because it ain't no other way. My mom and my dad actually planned me down to the day. I came a day early from what they planned. And my son was playing. Me and his mother, we sat down and threw out a plan. He had, not only did he have a doula, he had two godmothers. That's all that stuff that went into planning, especially, and then me. You know what I'm saying? I had everything, how you gonna eat, when he gonna eat, I had all that stuff planned out. And so every part of his life was important to me. Every day was important to me. And it goes to, that's when the abortion stuff started to come up because you got a lot of people that don't want to be parents that are being parents. And you got people that are just having babies to trap other people that don't want them. And then you have couples, married included, that think if we have a baby, it's going to bring us closer together. And that's not the case.
No.
And I used to tell my son mother
No. I'm sorry. Go ahead and finish. My bad.
No, I used to tell my son mother all the time, you can't be a better parent than you are a person. You got to build your person up first. And she wanted to, when we first got together, let's have a baby. I said, no, you need to wait. You got to slow down. I wanted a child bad. I want a new child now bad. But it has to be a situation where y'all on the same page. So that baby can fit right into that page to a letter. You know what I'm saying? You got to have it. You got to develop yourself. You got to have a teamwork situation. You know what I'm saying? They got to the point where we and her was on the same page on just about everything. I was like, okay, now be ready. Then that's when I brought him here. You know, so that part right there too is so. I've been saying this too. You gotta have a plan for your baby. Plan not just the being a baby part, but what are they? What are you bringing them here for? What are you bringing them here for? To do what?
Thank you.
You know what I
mean? And like what? Because a lot of you even see that most like sincerely devoted, loving married couples like, let's have a baby. Why do you want to be a parent?
Yeah.
Why? Why do you like? No, shoot. Like, this is something we think about, and I understand the biological imperative to reproduce, and this is why I don't like a lot of the. I don't know if you know like the conservative, like the Andrew Wilson types, and they're talking about like people getting married and having babies to offset the birth rate for the nation. But like, okay, I understand that argument logically, but at the same time, these are not just robots here to just keep the economy going or keep the military going. It's like, these are people. These are individuals. Yeah. Like, why so we just pop, if you want to do that, let's just bring back breeding farms.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's just like it's having bodies in the nation, but like even like a lot of the, like a lot of married couples, and they have babies, but it's like they just want an accessory. Like they want have a new couch or have a different decor for the kitchen. It's like, oh, let's have a baby so we can just. It's really just an accessory. And now you wonder why when that kid grows up, he don't want him to do with y'all because like you never view that child as a person.
It used to piss me off once I thought about it. I'm like, I equated it like this before Uber existed. I'm like, it's like a taxi. Like it's like you getting it. You parenting with so-called black families or black parents is like you get in a taxi and then the taxi drive off, go to Subway, sit there for 5 minutes, leave Subway, go to his house, take a bath, get back in the car. You still sitting there looking stupid, and they look back at you like, all right, where you going? Like you don't even care. Like I'm just. You don't even ask me where I'm going. You can ask mainly the black mothers. You can go to any one of these family members, see their children, ask them children what their dreams is. And then ask anybody in that family, and they don't know nobody else know, especially the mother. They don't even ask them children because they got so much fucking ideas for fucking Christmas. Like the baby is a fucking walking doll. What is the baby here for?
Right.
My son, my goddaughter, my niece, my son, from the time they was born to the time they was 7 years old, their dream changed like 8 times a piece. They change. I know that they don't keep the same dream. So when you see people saying, oh, I had this dream since I was a little child, but you had that and you had like 17, if not 20 others. You know what I'm saying? But nobody asked you. You know what I'm saying? My goddaughter said she wanted to be a police officer. She wanted to be a fireman. She said she wanted to work with social service. Shout out to the Real Precious because she was adopted. So she do like adopting. She do adoption things on IG. She on IG. She be doing that. I told her to come back to YouTube, but she said she gonna get to it. She trying to get that other channel going that got the name on it.
I know she was on the P for a little while, but I stopped watching P for a minute, so I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, she used to be dope because like she was actually trying to have actual because her experience being adopted, she's coming from a different perspective.
Right. Being adopted. My grandmother and them used to do assisted living. She adopted children, so I grew up with it. So when I hear Precious talk, I'm like, yeah, I know what the fuck y'all go through. GMC, what up? What up? I know what y'all go through because I watched it. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? I'm glad you came up because I just quoted you. I was on Illa panel, and this has everything to do with the topic we're talking about parenting today. Because of all the pedophile stuff, because of all the marriage stuff, people don't understand the point of marriage. It's children to raise productive human beings. That's what we're gonna get society from anyway. You wouldn't get it from fucking TV if we invested into instilling quality principles as a child. GMT said this, and he said it on his live, I think the last time I was on his panel. And again, like I said, I just quoted you on Illa panel of you saying that a lot of these grown ass people that we have today are mimicking the behavior of how they watch their mothers treat children, seeing how they always say ain't no nigga in the house. The viciousness that you see, or this hood behavior, you see because these children, well, they're now 20, 30, and 40, were mimicking their mom's behavior. You evidenced by, if you go to any If you look at any so-called black female that ain't grow up in the hood, ain't grow up around us, 0% of them act like us. You see in the hood from the fucking Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. Every hood is based off child abuse. Our culture is based off child abuse. It ain't based off nothing else. It don't have shit to do with music.
Let me interject. It's not just the hoods. It's because I've said before on panel. I didn't grow up in the hood. I was a middle class kid. It's not just the hood.
Oh yeah. Facts. That's facts. That's facts. That's facts. That's why I specified
in middle class and working class and suburban households. It might not. They might be maintained better as far as their living standard, but some of the same stuff going in them households too.
You know why I highlighted the hood? Because I'm talking about that super outlandish behavior. Like that. That's why I'm pointing at that. But you're right, they do happen. That's why I specified if they don't grow up around our people. Them girls don't act nothing like them. Don't act nothing like the average middle class or hood chick. They don't act anything like them. They say all of their syllables in their words and stuff like that, and that's a problem.
But the reason I part of that because I know people because I got family members that grew up in the hood and went through the same stuff. I got friends that grew up in the hood. I also got people I know that grew up in like $1 million houses. So like because my dad was his parents were sharecroppers, so he grew up on a sharecropping farm, and he always taught me never to otherize people and always look at people for who they are. Even though I grew up in a stable situation, I've been in the projects and felt comfortable. I've been in million dollar houses and felt comfortable, right?
Yeah.
And what I noticed about a lot of people that grew up in the hood, a lot of the dysfunction is on Front Street because they don't people that grew up in the hood don't feel the need
they think it's normal.
It's normal. They don't feel the need to put them on pretense. But a lot of people that grew up in either middle class or just upper middle class or even rich households, they have learned to be faker.
Yes.
But a lot of the same dysfunction, a lot of the same BS that goes on in the projects is going on in the $1 million houses too.
Yeah.
So
that's a fact.
Yeah. And so
and
that's why I feel comfortable with either scenario because like I've been taught to just view people as people and not view how much money you make or how much, what your lifestyle is. You're a human being regardless. And I'm going to treat you as such.
The behavior that they fake, it comes from a lot of the shit that you point out, they know how to be faker. What I notice in the hood, with hood motherfuckers, is how I used to tell this to my sister and her family. Like y'all talk, like the only way y'all know how to talk is antagonizing. It's a constant antagonizing. And people talk to their children like this. And I'm just like, then they ask stupid questions like, who the fuck do you think you are? Well, they fucking think they are your punching bag. That's what they think. What else would they think? And that's the shit used to piss me off. That's why I looked at my mother and I was like, yeah, the stuff I'm learning from my cousins about not banging on niggas that's smaller than you, you don't seem to be reflecting that. Because all this fucking tough shit you say to me, I don't see you saying that to nobody your size. Exactly. I lost respect right there as a little boy. Younger than 3 and 4 years old. That's what I realized. I'm like, nah, she lost me since then. And I say that to say, everybody not gonna come here and be docile. You don't know who coming through your womb. You don't know who you squirting through your dick. You have no idea. And like I said before in the beginning, if we have an appropriate standard level of love that we give to our children, the same love that we would give to them if they're 30. One of the things, I'll give another example of appropriate. That maybe it's easy to understand. Of course, I was raised mainly what's going on my read? I was raised by a lot of females, right? And then females, they kiss children on the lips. I had my niece with me, and I was around my mentor in his office, and I kissed her on her lips, right? And then this other girl that's from like New York, she was there. She was like, "Ew." And I never thought of it. And then I tried to look at her face like she thought like that was the worst thing in the world. And I never even challenged it. And I kind of looked like and asked myself, I said, is it even necessary for me to kiss her in the lips? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I thought about that and I challenged my thought process. And I'm like, she's not going to think I love her no less if I don't kiss her on the lips. So she was the last child I ever kissed on the lips. The one that died last year. And I think at the time she was not even.
Condolences to that, by the way.
I appreciate you. I think she was I don't think she was even. She may have been 1.5. So that's when I stopped. Like my son, I never kissed him on his lips. I always kissed him on his forehead, maybe his eyes, his cheeks. You know what I'm saying? I don't kiss him on the lips because it's not appropriate. You know what I mean?
It's not. It's really not.
It's not necessary. And I'm saying it, and I think I've said this on. I think I remember saying this on panels before. I don't knock parents that do, the men that do, and women that don't that do. But I thought about it and looked at my experiences, and I didn't need it when I was little. I didn't even like love when I was little. I just wanted people to let me run around. If you let me run around, that's the people I love the most. You let me run around, hit stuff with sticks, play, get beat up. That's the people I like the most. Not all the hugs and shit. If you let me do that, I'm gonna come and hug and kiss you. That's what I learned about boys in general. You let them run around, even the ones that's clingy. You let them run around, do what they do. They love you the most. Let them rock, man. Let them learn themselves because they got a lot to learn. They got a lot to burn, and they really got to figure out who they are. So that's what I mean by like appropriate. In addition to obviously, and I think empathy has to be taught. I know a piece of it is gonna exist. Like if you cry in front of a baby will cry. But there's certain things about, and I think it relates to society. A lot of it has to do with society that you have to really get them to see things from your position to get them to help because they love you. They don't understand how to explain to you how much they love you. They just going through the motions because they're little. They don't even know what you don't know. They don't even know that they don't know. So they care so much about you. They look up to you all day. I remember, I said this to my son because I had to, he was having problems in school. They didn't tell me. Now we got it, right? We got it together. Now he's doing better now. I was telling them, like, I understand some things you tell me. Like, so I used to think about my dad and my big brother all day, every day. All day, every day. That's all I thought about. And I said it to him. He just looked at me like, nigga, you know that? Like, because he's going through it. They have to be taught empathy. They have to be taught how to look from a different perspective so they can see. That goes along with love. They have to know that me getting up in the morning, that's me loving you. Because they're little now. At this point, they know it's hugs. And then when they grow up to where he's his age now, 9, they can learn and kind of look at things a little bit different. But they have to be taught it. But if a part of the day in, day out is you're blaming them for you having to do dishes or do the laundry, they don't let you rest. Like you're a fucking adult now. You're a parent now. You had your time to play. You were their size before. That's why you're able to have babies now. Okay, you had your turn. It's not your time to be taking off. I can't stand that shit. I need a break. The fuck you need a break for? What the fuck were you doing when you was fucking 0 to 18 or 20 or whatever the fuck you had a job? Yeah, you need a break. You had 2 decades before you had a job. What the fuck are you talking about? You don't need a break. Did you break when you was fucking?
There you go. I don't care if you were 15 when you had your kid. Break time's over, bro. I mean, you brought a life into the world.
And they argue for that. And they argue for that in front of children. And I don't understand why you think that makes sense. If a nigga sat in front of you and said, I need a break for this bitch.
Exactly. and that's why I said when I first came on, is like most parents are not having their kids to have their kids. They're having their kids as a byproduct of pleasure. When really it's reversed. Right. The purpose of having sex is to procreate. The pleasure is the byproduct.
Yeah.
That we're doing everything's upside down. It's like, well, I was just trying to get a nut, or I just really like this nigga, or dude, I really just like the way this chick look, and I was trying to get a nut off, or we were in a relationship and we just fucking because it feels good, or now the baby's here. Well, you did things upside down. It just is what it is. So it's like, no, but once the baby's here, you don't get a break.
Right.
Even if, like, let's say you're in the best situation, your parents are involved, and you got a village around you to help raise these kids. Okay. They might take some of the load off you for a moment. You're once you're a parent, you're a parent. You don't get a break from being a parent.
Because you can't tell them that. And that you're a perfect example of that, because there's people that wish they could be in a position to have a break. I don't need no damn break for my child. I got a break. My break is when I'm working. I'm good.
My break is when I'm asleep. And then if my son had lived, if he woke me in my sleep, okay, break's over. Time to get on your job. It is what it is.
Yeah. That's when the real work starts. And then you want to whine and complain about the quality of people when there's neglect there, which is why, again, I don't like fucking holidays. It's you're neglecting. It teaches habit of neglecting.
Okay.
That's why I don't like the shit.
Mm-hmm. I don't talk about my religious beliefs and my spiritual beliefs. I'm not going to now, but from my spiritual beliefs, holidays are all paganism. If you look at the origin of these holidays, it's because we live in a quote unquote Christian country, or biblical country. But if you look at the origin of most of these holidays, it's bullshit, right?
Yeah.
But even if you look at it, to take religion and spirituality out of it, these holidays is nothing but consumerism. Nothing.
Yeah. Thank you. That's all it is.
You can be a full-blown atheist. Holidays are nothing but consumerism. Christmas is nothing but a way for companies to get them to gen up their revenue. Christmas, Easter, Valentine's Day, New Year's, they're always selling you something. Your birthday, selling you something. And you made a good point too. You only have one birthday.
Facts.
The day your mama either pushed you out or you were cut out of her womb, that's your birthday. Every other day is the anniversary of your birthday.
Yeah. Yeah.
You only have one birthday.
Things that are divine don't operate in false names. And that's why I stress etymology. I stress it so much because people do not understand that these people are playing with you. And you brought up a word that is so important that I stress it. I have to stretch it, is that word consumer. People do not know what that word means. It is the most disrespectful shit to be called on earth. It is extremely disrespectful. It's supposed to be called a goyim.
You're a lick.
It's worse than that. It's worse than that.
Okay.
It's worse than you just done. It's the equivalent of being called a zombie.
Yes.
It's better to be called a monster than a zombie. It's worse than being called
operates. A zombie's
just he's brain dead.
Yeah.
What up, though?
So, what's going on, Riaz? Let me say this real quick.
Okay.
What up, Riaz? What up, Riaz?
What up, man? So how you both doing, though?
We good. What's going on?
Not much. I'm just chilling out, though. Not much going on, though, you know.
I think this is the first time you've been on my panel.
Yeah, basically, basically it's the time zone thing, basically. So sometimes when you're live, I'm like straight asleep, though, so I don't get much of a chance to come up here, you know. So I might catch your replays and stuff, you know.
Yeah. I don't be live as much. I should be like, I thought it was gonna be end of March, probably end of February, probably more in March.
Okay. That's cool.
But one of the things about consumer, you look it up in the law dictionary, you look it up in the etymology dictionary. It's a word that people do not associate to religion at all, and that's the biggest mistake. And that's why I stress etymology, parts, and syntax. It's for you to understand what this word really, what words really mean, because people be playing in your face and you don't realize it. And I say that, right? You hear politicians say the word consumer. You hear big businesses say the word consumer. It's everywhere. You think this word is okay to be said. We also think being called black is okay to be said, but that word is an adjective that means pale and you brown.
Right. That's what I say, right? So-called black.
Being called a consumer is worse than being called a goyim, an infidel, a heathen, a non-believer, a dog, a Negro, which don't mean anything. Negro comes from the word necro, Necro, which means dead. Being called a consumer by law, by legal definitions, which is where these politicians and CEOs get the term from. Being called a consumer is somebody that wastes the value of something by using it. Now, that may not seem bad, but when you put it in relationship to where it comes from, which in contrast of, it makes perfect sense. The etymology definition of it is to eat. It means to eat, like a useless eater. So
I was literally about to say that's why they call people useless eaters.
Useless, exactly where that fucking shit, and it also is a debt to society because you don't add anything. So when you go into the grocery store, there's this part of a grocery store, at least in the United States of America, where it's all this green stuff. That green stuff came from the dirt and dust of the ground. That part of the grocery store is called the produce section. The produce section is stuff that comes from the dirt and dust of the ground. You were also told that in Genesis. Man was made from the dirt and dust of the ground. You are supposed to be a producer. The opposite of a producer, you will find this everywhere you look in a dictionary. in the law dictionary, in the etymology dictionary, in unabridged dictionaries, you will find that produce, or you see consumer, you'll see that they're the exact opposite. They're saying that they're saying you're not even human.
You're worthless.
You're the precise opposite of what you're supposed to be.
Which is it basically though? It's also stated though, because is it basically though, from dust you come, from dust you return, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I kind of get you in that kind of aspect as well, though, man.
So like when you,
I was about to say, and shout out to the Rastafarian. I don't know a detail about their faith or their worldview, but from what I understand by the Rastafarian worldview is that you are not allowed to consume more than you produce.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. But and when you really think about that, that says a lot. You cannot consume more than you produce.
Ooh, okay.
So if you want to think about this from a business perspective, as some people in this space would say, if I'm producing more than I consume, I'm always in the black. If I consume more than I produce, I'm always at a deficit.
Absolutely.
And you wonder why people are so dead, spiritually, physically, spiritually, psychologically, because they don't do shit, but they're constantly consuming. This is actually deep. We really think about it.
I've been this is on the bro. This is welcome to the world class. This is what's happening on a world class level. That lets you, once you get here, and I said legal for a reason. That's why I don't deal with politics. This is why I don't deal with politics. Politics are for people that don't know law. I don't give a fuck about watch it.
Even you know politics is theater. I don't know law the way you do, but even I can see politics is just theater. It's
a person that is, when you're a producer, you're solvent or sovereign. What does a solvent and sovereign person need with a bill? What is a bill? What do I care about a bill? Any bill, exactly. Any bill that gets passed, if I pass a bill, what am I doing? I'm passing debt.
Yep.
Every single solitary bill is a debt.
No different than black bill.
So if I'm solvent and sovereign, what do I care about a bill? Is any bill going to be passed that's going to uproot the Constitution for the United States of America that allowed it to be passed? No. So how does it affect me? And why do people talk about it so much? It's because now once you have given up your rights to be a consumer, which again goes back to parenting, which goes back to identity. Once you are now a consumer, you gave up your rights. I can do whatever I want for you. Because in the Constitution, slavery, I'm sorry, in the amendments to the Bill of Rights, slavery was abolished, or was it? Involuntary slavery was abolished, wasn't it? Not voluntary slavery. When you volunteer to be a consumer, that shit, then those bills apply to you. Then you're affected by it. So people be arguing over what bill is passed and what bill is not passed when the shit don't even apply to you, but it do if you're a consumer, because you got a right to self-determination.
Okay.
And this be the problem.
Well, I was gonna add this though. So basically, in a way, though, because colonialism never truly went away. Basically, it's just the way they openly used to do it though, a long time ago. That idea is gone, but they just probably transformed it into something else, though, right?
Yeah, that's what I said on. That's what I said on Ella channel. I said they abolished slavery. Did they ever abolish colonization? Nope.
I don't think so. Basically what it's called now, though, from people, suffer from, it's called post-colonial syndrome. So, it's a form of PTSD, but the symptoms is depression, anxiety, identity crisis, internalized racism, and, preference of Western culture over their own, basically. So that's like this. And also add in partition trauma too, though, so... that is a form of PTSD. It's called post-colonial syndrome, though.
But the problem is no post. It's still present.
No, I get that. So basically, it's still present. So basically, it's called post. Basically, people, whoever they lived under it or not, basically, right? I know it's still there, though. I'm saying, I'm just explaining for the sake of it, right? So basically, whether people have actually lived under that system, no, or they didn't live under that system like that openly, you know what I mean, though, bruh? Basically, the legacy slash history will always be like that. And, in that time, though, right? They didn't talk about certain things how we talked about certain things in the mental aspect, right? And that trauma just passes through generations, though, in a family, right? And that trauma can skip few generations, though. And it probably hit me in my family, probably, not the partition stuff, but the other stuff. Because my family never had to leave during the partition. They got to keep their land, they got to keep everything.
Yeah, but along with that, when you have those dynamics where colonization has occurred, genocide really for some people, and you don't have anything, and the only thing you're offered here in these United States, when these people that have brown skin calling themselves black, Negro, African American, whatever the fuck, if the only aspect of freedom you got is when I go to the store, you're going to false compensate and double and triple and quadruple down on that. And now that's your identity. Now my identity is what I can buy out of the store.
Okay. That's
You see what I'm
interesting,
saying?
though, man. Yeah, I get you. Over here where I'm at, though, my harsh reality, it's like a game of tug of war, though, bruh. So basically, I'm pulled in two directions, though. I can't accept one side or the other, or like basically, though, they'll never truly accept me. The only time they'll ever claim me is when they need me, and when they don't need me, they'll never truly claim me. So basically, like, I have no central identity like that, and I have to start creating my own because like, what the truth is, though, deep down inside, both sides is truly jealous of me because, one side wants my culture, the other side wants my opportunity. So basically, it's like they're playing games with me inside my head, and I'm the one to realize it at my age to break that.
Yeah. That's why I like when you have went like what way I could say this. A lot of times you see niggas arguing on the online, it's always about what you got, what you get, what you pay. Because that's the only freedom is what I can buy. So when you see trans movement, I was saying this about when it was pushing gay stuff like in the early like 06, 07, like trying to make that shit cool, putting it on TV. I said then, probably 06, yeah, right between 06, 08. I was saying then that this bullshit, even consumerism, right? I was saying this bullshit about being gay is the way it is because they have to buy their identity out of the store. You can't be gay or a dyke or trans without purchasing something. Well, they got that from being around females. They got around being around not only black females, but white females. Because you're only white when you buy something. Because you're not white. You know what I'm saying? I think I said on the last live, my nigga, this white and black shit is fake. This black and black classification stuff doesn't exist. I can show you the people you would call white people, and they will reject this white thing because they know law enough to know that you're only white through naturalization, which is taking an alien and clothing them with the rights of natural persons. They say that they are sovereign men in the land. They say that they are secure party creditors. They don't take that title because they're not, hold on, Riz, they're not white. They know that shit not real. You're not black. Your skin is brown. It's not real at all. But as a consumer, you can feel like you're right because when you go into that store with your card or your paper, you're correct. You don't have to prove anything. You can feel like you're everybody else.
And I'm gonna go on a more basic level because you know more than I do about the history and the legal stuff behind it. But like just on a purely elementary level, most people now will acknowledge race as a social construct, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's made up. If it's construct, it's made up. Somebody made it up. So if you know it's made up, then why are you still? The same person would tell you that race is social construct would next breath tell you, from at least from the so-called black people standpoint, would tell you black this, black that. It's like, well, so are you buying into the construct?
Because the first rule of business is protect your investment. They've already invested in it.
That's my point.
Like Tariq Nasheed, right? You got popular, you pushing foundational Black Americans.
Right.
But you the same nigga that got popular talking about Moors. In that same Hidden Color, you seem. Hold on, hold on. Let me just, because we home now. I ain't know nobody else. I'm saying.
Bang, 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 bang.
So how you get all the way over there? How you get over the foundational Black Americans when in your video in Hidden Colors you shown that we was over here already?
Well,
you can't copyright Moors. You can copyright foundational Black Americans that you made up.
Well, because Tariq was, if you want to go through the history of Tariq really was trying to grift off the ADOS movement with Yvette and Tone, and they was like, nah, nigga, we ain't doing that. And then he turned to something else, but you know, that's the whole different topic. And that really, because that really, if you want to talk about that, the ADOS movement really, that was when, like, in at least in our lifetimes, when the reparations movement was actually getting some traction.
Mm-hmm.
And Tariq realized he was trying to grift off that, and they were like, "Nah, we serious about this. You can't grift off this." And that's when he created FBA, the Foundation Black American, and that's when that whole split happened. And now it's gonna be dead for another generation. But you know, that's a whole different situation. But yeah. But my broader point is like, you can't one out of one breath, and you see mainstream Black people who have been approved by the powers that be to be on CNN and CBS and so forth. They'll say, well, race is so construct, and the next breath they'll say, well, Black people this and that. Well, like, wait a minute, like, what do you can't have it both ways, fam. Is it fake or is it not?
But see, wait, that's logic, right? That's common sense. But they're consumers. Right?
I think they're liars.
Watch this.
This is my personal. I think they're lying.
But that's how to be a consumer. You have to be a liar to be a consumer. Because watch this. Mm-hmm. You're a consumer. For you to be a consumer, you got to go do what? Make purchases, right? Yeah. And when you make purchases, you're called a customer. Is anything that you get custom?
No.
You don't do anything. Do you go through customs to purchase anything?
No.
No. So the entirety of being a consumer is being a liar. You're a customer, but nothing's custom. You don't go through customs. And if it is, then what is that?
Okay.
So everything about consumerism is I gotta say this word because I'm home. It's demonic, satanic, and Luciferian exchange. It's not real. Our version that we got of marriage, you gotta remember. You gotta watch this stuff. And people watch on a replay and hit the like button. You got to remember that marriage. Watch this. This shit. If you can think, it'll hit the fuck out of you. First of all, before I even say that, I'm gonna do that first, right? Marriage is religious first. Marriage is religious first. If you're not married, if you're not religious, why the fuck are you talking about marriage? Here's the hitter. Do you understand that marriage is older? Watch this shit. If you can think, this shit will hit the fuck out of you. Do you understand that marriage is older than civilization?
Yes.
Marriage is older than any and every city that ever existed. That's how old marriage is. These people, they grew up. This is how evil consumerism is. You think, and you look the word up, even in a regular dictionary, it say between a man and a woman. Marriage with the state is not marriage. That's adultery. For corporate fiction, each one of those persons on the document is a person. The state, you, and your spouse. It's adultery. It has nothing to do, not through a state, not through a church, not through your mama, not through your chief or your imam or your mahdi. That's not what gave you right to be married. You see what I'm saying? So
even from a biblical standpoint, this is why I tell people, right? If you want to understand the dynamic between, and you tell me if I'm wrong, but this is why I look at it, because I grew up studying the Bible, raised in the Bible. I say 90% of what you need to know between a man and a woman is the second half of Genesis chapter 2 and all of Genesis chapter 3.
That's all you need. Genesis 1 through 2, you good. That's all the religion right there. You don't need the rest.
But like, it's like, if you look at the story of Adam and Eve in the garden, when God married Adam and Eve, and some people like, depending on what tradition you go through and what belief system, some people say Lilith, but let's just stick with Adam and Eve. I don't even need Lilith in this.
Yeah,
Adam and Eve. Okay, that was the first man and the first woman. Cool. It was him, her, and God.
Yeah.
There was no government. There was no religion. It was him, her, and God, and the only religion was what he instructed Adam to do.
Yes. Yeah, that's it. And
what
I think
what else do we need more than that?
Dr. Miles Monroe, he got the book Releasing Your Potential, and Releasing Your Potential by Dr. Miles Monroe. I think he was killed because he said this on his last sermon. He said, "There's no evidence in the Bible of institutional government." He said the only government that God established was self-government. You know what's crazy about that? I listened to the sister hoodlums. Look at this damn sister hoodlum right here. This is the main one. I listened to these sister hoodlums say this retarded shit about what's the patriarchy? And I'm like, little girl,
oh my God.
This is a fucking republic. You know what a republic is? Self-government. Because your rights, 99% of these people's rights can't influence my 1% right. No matter what nobody else do, your rights don't influence my rights. You can't outvote my rights. Now, the government is set up to have a democratic system, but the country is based off, and the government system is a democratic, which means it's an adjective. It's not a democracy. It's a democratic system of voting. But what are they voting on? They're voting on things on business, which includes the military, which is why the military has something called companies, which is the foundation of what a company is in military. That's a whole nother conversation. So not only are you perverting ancient and sacred things with teaching us that with marriages, you got like I kill me. I don't know how many places I've said this to see these people talk with people that are fucking devils and demons about marriage. It's sacred. They're here to make sure you don't get married. They don't give a fuck about it. You are a bitch that say you don't like the patriarchy. You're a nigga that say, and this the shit that fucking kill me. Shout out to Liberator. I know he was here. I'm spiritual. I'm not religious. What? You what?
So you're nothing.
What?
Yeah. Hey, granted, I always look. I would say I'm not super rooted in what you're rooted in, but I just look at it on the surface, right? Okay. As a regular nigga, what does that mean? You're not religious or spiritual. What kind of spirit?
That's like somebody saying I'm a cop, but I'm not for the law.
Okay.
What?
Okay, cool. You're spiritual. Oh, okay. You know. Let's go biblically. You know, the devil's a spirit too. Demons are spirits too. What does that mean?
Exactly.
It literally doesn't mean anything. It's nothing. You might as well just say you're an atheist. I would have more respect for you to say you're an atheist.
Okay. This is the last part I want to put. Hold on, real quick, Riz.
You don't believe in anything.
This is the last part I must say about the marriage thing before we go further down. It irritate me again. I did what words mean. It irritate me to see these motherfuckers say we can get married, but we ain't having no children. The fucking word marry means to give offspring and children. The word marriage means to make children. Y'all say marriage is a coming together of two people. That's what the fuck a child is. It's this shit is so psychotic to me. Right. So go ahead, and then we can get to the spiritual and religious shit. Go ahead.
Wait, so basically the podcast for me, I'm a Muslim, but I'm mostly Sunni, but I have Sufi roots though, but basically though, spiritually I'm more like Sufi. So it's like Sufi is more like to focus on the deeper stuff basically, and practically I'm like Sunni, but they're both the same thing. It's just that, how I'm practicing it and stuff like that. So I've got roots in that, and the Sufis I'm connected to, they practice the same way I practice. They just take those same teachings, don't they, go on a deeper level. So they meditate and stuff like that, and contemplate and stuff like that. So like the blue lights and stuff like that. So when you think of the color blue, so basically, it's like your throat and stuff like that, you're breathing in and out and stuff like that. That's how they kind of do and stuff like that. So basically, my family, they studied under Sufis and stuff.
Okay, Riz. Riz, what?
Yeah.
You know what we was talking about just now, Riz? Huh?
Okay.
You know what we was talking about?
No, he was just giving his background, his
I don't know what he was doing.
his perspective.
I'm just giving my perspective. I'm gonna say to be honest.
No, but to that I'm gonna address
But what you saying
about
a marriage? But what you say about a marriage, even biblically,
yeah.
If you look in the Old Testament, right? If a man were to have sex with a virgin, he would have to marry her.
Have to,
because, like I said earlier, sex was the pleasure of sex was a byproduct. The main focus was to produce offspring. So if she was not already married to the man had sex with a virgin, that's his wife now. If he rejected that, they both would be stoned to death. Well, why was that? Because man, woman come together. If you're having sex with her, you're trying to create a child with her. That's your wife now. Even if a child doesn't result, that's your wife now. Because the primary focus of sex was to create children.
Exactly.
So basically,
it's not when you really think about it, it's not that complicated.
Okay, I was just gonna say, man.
Super simple.
Okay, I was just gonna say, so you basically saying when you kind of do it though, your soul is tied though, right?
No, it was soul. And people have different interpretations of what soul means. No, the act of sex is like the act of eating. The act of eating is not, oh, this tastes good. The act of eating is I need nourishment to live. The act of sex, same principle, is man has sex with woman is to produce a child. The fact that it feels good is just incentive to get you to do it to have the child. If you're having sex with this woman, the primary point of having sex with her is you're trying to reproduce with her. So if you're trying to reproduce with her, that's your wife now.
Okay. Yeah. Wait, but what do you define soul ties though? I know when you say that people have definitions for it, but what do you mean though by the multiple definitions? You can explain to me in a different kind of way, you know?
Soul ties? I don't believe in soul ties. That's a whole different thing.
I kind of do.
Okay. Explain. Go ahead.
Nah, so basically though, when you actually, how you emotionally bond, and basically when you kind of do the act as well, it's like basically you're coming together as one, that type of way as well, So that's how I think soul ties is that though, I think. I'm just simplifying it, but that's what I think it is though.
I don't.
When
I hear people talk about soul ties, I hear people talking about they're really just emotionally bonded to another person. You can be emotionally bonded to somebody, and that don't hold a lot of weight with me. I mean, okay, you're emotionally tied to this person. You can be emotionally tied to multiple people. That don't mean nothing.
Right.
Yeah, but it's also what you allow. Also, the only reason I just say I believe in that as well is because you're allowing stuff. You're allowing energy into your body. So, when you actually do, what you just mentioned, when it comes to that type of thing as well. So think about it that way. So, your soul is being tied. And then also, though, what type of energy you're allowing in your body. And that's why. So that's why I remain the way I remain till I marry, because I'm trying to do it the right way to me, though, basically,
Well, you can be emotionally tied to someone and never have sex with them.
You have a point, though, but that's just how I kind of see it as well. But I get what you mean, though.
Mm-hmm. When like I said, so yeah, you can have sex with someone and be emotionally tied to them. You can be emotionally tied to someone and never touch them physically. When you are
not just in emotional aspects, I mean physical.
Hold on, one second. Because I was about to say, all sex ain't emotional. Sometimes it's just literally just a primal thing. But when if you're performing the act of coitus, penis and vagina, that can result in a child being born. That has nothing to do with emotion. Can it be all encompassing? Yes. But see, it's three separate things. If you're you can have emotions without physical. You can have physical without emotion. You can have all three put together in one.
Yeah, but what about the energy you allow in your body as well?
What do you mean allowing your body? If you have a soul, didn't it originate with you?
Yeah, no. I mean, not just your soul, but I mean other people's soul. So when you actually commit the action, though, right? When you actually do that, you're basically allowing, certain energies to enter your body, though. So that's why basically, I'm just seeing it the way I'm seeing it from my perspective, though. But same time, I'm not saying it ain't wrong, though. I'm just saying, the way I see it, though. That's why, I just, me personally, I just choose not to do that, though, for a specific reason. Because I'm trying to protect, my body. Because, sometimes we also have to be careful. Like basically, I'm the one who has to choose and attract what I need to attract. At the same time, it's the type of energy I allow in my body. Because I'm the one that attracts that, though. So trying to actually do it the right type of way as well. So not just how I see it, though. But I don't know any other way to explain now.
All right. So this is. So I want to know, because I think she was responding to when I say people say this retarded shit of, I'm spiritual, I'm not religious. I'm talking about what people say, right? You said a few things though, Will, but my shit, bro. This fucking shit is, it's dumb. It's when you don't know what words mean, right? And because if you say that you're spiritual and you're not religious, where did you learn about the spirit from? What did you learn about? Where did you hear about it from? So if for some reason you think it makes sense for you, or it's okay for you to be spiritual and abandon the thing that introduced you to the spirit, if you think that's spiritual, something is seriously wrong with you. You have a problem. And this is what's crazy to me. People that don't know what words mean and have not been initiated on any way, shape, or form, learning the spirit is fucking 100 times harder than learning religion. It's way, 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 way more difficult. That's why y'all have stuff like Christianity, Islam, Judaism. Because if you were initiated and taught universal and divine law directly, and you don't even know how to read or know your colors, you will fuck up immediately. You have to learn. You got to go to the Quran. You have to go to the Bhagavad Gita. You have to go to the Holy Bible for you to get the stories, to teach you the concepts, to truly understand, irrespective of time, space, the universal and divine laws. It is the kindergarten. Religion is the kindergarten for you to learn, to get to those AP courses, to get you to that world-class level of understanding the religion of the angels, the religion of God, which is universal and divine law. You need that to learn true spiritual law. So you wouldn't say crazy stuff like, I'm spiritual, I'm not religious, and then say that religiously, which undermines your entire point. Not even knowing that the word spirit means breath. So the second you said that, you gave life to religion. So you're making it religion. Go ahead.
So my thing is with this, right? I don't Bible bang, Quran bang, Torah bang. Believe what you want to believe, and just as long as you don't want to infringe on mine, I'm not going to infringe on yours. That's my thing. Religion is for humans.
Yeah,
this is the way I've always looked at it. Whatever you believe, you can be a Catholic, Protestant, Orthodox, Islam, Judaism. But religion is for human beings. When you start talking about spiritual beings, they're on a different plane than we are, that we couldn't even comprehend.
It's beyond quantum physics.
Understand. The smartest human on earth cannot understand the stuff that,
bro.
The stuff that spiritual beings also. You say I'm spiritual. That's what I say. You're really you don't believe shit. You just do what feels right to you.
Yeah, you just want something for nothing. You think you pick the spiritual one because it ain't no spiritual churches walking around. It's just you choosing that because you think it's easier. There's no consequences. There's no judgment there as far as you're concerned. But it's actually the most judgment. But it's actually way more than that.
But also too, I say this. Okay, there's more than one type of spirit, or you're spiritual. Okay, some spirits ain't good.
Yeah, that's what they're telling you. They're telling you they're a demon.
It's like I say, if you believe in Satan, you believe in the devil is a spirit. Demons are a spirit.
Do y'all know what the word religion even means?
Are you coming from a righteous sense of spirituality, or are you coming from a demonic sense of spirituality? You say, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. What kind of spiritual are you?
This is the problem. This is the problem. Even with that, you can't be either one, because the word religion means to rebond or rebond, but you do that every time you breathe air. So the redundancy and the stupidity in saying I'm religious, I'm not spiritual. I'm sorry, I'm spiritual, I'm not. It's dumb to say I'm religious, I'm not spiritual. Both of those things are dumb. You're better off just saying I'm not spiritual or religious, or I'm spiritual and religious. But the shit's stupid if you break one up, because they go together. I got a left side, I don't have a right side. I got a right side, I don't got a left side. I got a top, I don't got a bottom. Now, we've seen people out their legs, but they still got a bottom. So it's just dumb. There's no reason to say that, but you're telling me you're a demon. But it's a way to avoid the responsibilities of when I say something about something important as a marriage, I don't want no responsibilities. I could just say me and this other person who don't want children going to be married. But you mean some goofy shit of you just want a consumer experience. You want to take marriage and defile marriage and make it be what you want it to be, because you feel like it. That's all it is.
Let's clarify. You got two people that try to have children and just physically can't because of whatever deformity or imperfection. Whatever.
No. That's not even included. Those people are trying. These people are getting together to not have children. They're getting together because neither one of them want children, but that's not what marriage is. You know what I'm saying?
And even in the confines of modern day religion and whatever denomination you belong to, I don't understand that. I don't get that, because you see that
it doesn't make any sense.
Then why are you getting married? What's the point?
There's no point. Because they're consumers, they don't want to miss out. They want somebody to die and so they can get their stuff. And they want control of other people's stuff. Because they're consumers, they're eaters, they're zombies. That's what they are. They want to waste the value of something by using it. They want to take a seed and bite the seed and not plant the seed so it can grow and harvest. They want to compromise the child so they can be able to feel like they have an effect on something, to feel like you have an effect on something when you really don't. They're not human.
It's selfishness, really.
It's pseudo selfishness. They're not even here. They're not human. That's what I'm talking. Like, it's when I say consumer, it is the most demonic, satanic, and Luciferian thing in the world to call a living, breathing person a consumer, and they accept that. It's worse than a pedophile. Because at least a pedophile is human.
Because people hear this and say, hey, break it down.
A pedophile will target a child. A consumer will kill everybody. It rapes everybody. A consumer will walk around and say, I'm a creator of life. You will steal from God, nigga. These chicks, these sister hoodlums, these demon bitches walk around and say, I'm a woman is a creator of life. What? You do what? Ain't this shit alive before it get to you? How did you create it? If you'll steal from God, what won't you steal from? What do you think a pedophile is other than a consumer? They'll kill everybody. They don't give a fuck. A pedophile will target a child. A consumer will rape an elderly person with a child. They'll genocide and kill everybody. They don't have any boundaries. That's why the government treat niggas like they treat them. That's why it's okay to run propaganda on U.S. citizens. It's because of this thing called a consumer. They do everything to people. They do anything to y'all. They put fucking horrible shit in the water. I tell people the stuff I'm telling you so you can deprogram yourself to not be a fucking corpse. You are literally, when you are a U.S. citizen, white and black, you are a civil litter mortis. You are dead in the eyes of Allah because you are a consumer. You're not human. You do not have human rights. That's why you don't have a nationality. An idiot that have no nationality, that's 3/5 of a person walking around talking about patriarchy is their problem. Patriarchy is a problem because women couldn't own property. It ain't been no women in this bitch since 1781. Yeah, the white women had, this is the black chicks, the so-called black chicks. Oh, the white women had property and we ain't had property. Bitch, the white bitch own you. How the fuck she had property when she owned you? Shut the fuck up. But when you're a consumer, you say stupid shit like that. You say stuff that don't make any sense. It's absolutely illogical because all you know is to consume. It's bigger problems than feminism. It's bigger problems than what people be talking about on a consistent basis. A lot of people are not qualified. They ain't done enough research and study. Shout out to the brother that said the Duke of Tears. When these fucking Epstein files came out, everything that we've been saying, like what she talking about right here, right? The Hoteps, everything that the Hotep's been saying since fucking 2000, at least 2002 about the 9/11, all that shit then came out. They got my nigga in the Epstein files. Epstein and them is referring to children as jerky. The whole, go check out channels. It's 3 million pages of it. Go check out channels that's been breaking down them fucking pages, nigga. The 100% of what they call you, they're doing. They charged Michael Jackson with being a pedophile when this nigga was buying the children that they were raping and eating to protect them from them niggas. You'll have a black bitch on a panel telling you that, oh, these niggas ain't shit, they ain't in that child life, and that bitch will have a fucking child cemetery on her pussy. What the fuck are you to be telling me about what the fuck? You killed a child to avoid being a mother, and what the fuck? What the fuck are you to be talking to me about anything?
I just saw a clip on IG, and you might have seen it. It was like it was a circle of them, and they're talking about you don't judge. And one chick she had 8 abortions. One chick said she had like 3 or 4 abortions in a year, and I was like, huh? Like, what? I'm not supposed to judge that. Like, even if you are pro-abortion, you had 8. Safe, legal, and rare. You had 8, and this chick was not old. She wasn't even 30 yet. You had 8. She need to be RICO'd for killing her own children. 8. Hello. 8. Yeah. Have you heard of an IUD? Have you heard of a condom? Have you heard of a Plan B? Goddamn. This goes back to my point. It goes back to children, right? Because these little these people that we talking about used to be children. They had to be raised like this, and it automatically jumps back to the I'm not religious, I'm spiritual thing, because you can go I'm not religious. You spiritual, you a demon. Shit. Yeah. You can go, oh, I'm not a Christian, I don't believe in that. The people that run this planet, that's running operations on you, they believe in this shit. And whether you're a Muslim, Christian, Catholic, Sikh, it don't make a motherfucking difference. They still gonna run them demonic games on you. They didn't give a fuck who was here. Everybody is gonna take this motherfucking jab or you not working. And you know what was crazy? I keep saying this over and over and over again. In 2020, the only people that could save their children from getting that jab, the people that could save themselves from getting that jab was people that had to use what? They used their religion to keep from them putting them you can't fucking cure cancer correctly. You can't cure the cold correctly. And all of a sudden you got a vaccine for a disease you ain't never seen before. And the only people that could get out of their job was people that had that religious exemption. Just a little more. Drink some water. It's right there. But you want to keep playing. Or I'm gonna go to another aspect. You were spiritual, you're not religious, so you broke. Because what has made more money in the last 2,000 years, 1,000 years, 5,000 years than religion? Look at Drewski. Look who he was making fun of. Look how much money them niggas make. Don't not make more money than religion. So capitalism comes from religion. What are you talking about? It's from Islam specifically. As Catholics and Christians, you couldn't do anything. You was under patriarchy. You couldn't buy other than what they told you to buy. What you talking about? You think Mansa Musa was the richest man on the planet, or King Solomon was one of the richest men of all time because they was cute or they was tall? No, they was rich. They was rich because of their religion. And there ain't no king and queen in the history of Earth that didn't have a religion. And they the richest mother. Don't you have kings and queens now that are worth 20 figures?
The fuck am I listening to a fucking red pill nigga or a rapper about money or a bitch talking about you can't pay? Y'all don't know nothing about no money. It's people walking around today that breathe air that's worth 20 figures. Mansa Musa was worth 60 figures, not no fucking billions. Are you stupid? You own all of the gold in Africa? Are you fucking retarded? And over here? This level of wealth you have the only wealthy conversation is a religious one. Because religion has nothing to do with fucking church. It is government. And the shit that you know is government is religion. You look at the Constitution for the United States of America, it is a prayer. It's a prayer. You look in a fucking Bible and everywhere you see Jesus or Moses talk, they talking law.
Mosaic law.
Yeshua said, isn't not written in your law that ye are gods, for ye are sons of the Most High? That's how Jesus was talking. He wasn't talking about fucking clapping and doing fucking praise breaks and stupid shit and playing the drums and guilt tripping you and you need a tithe. He didn't talk about none of that. That's what your pastor talk about, that he get a 501c3 tax exempt status from the government to tell you stupid shit and only read out what John, Luke, and whatever the fuck, that fucking fake shit. Dumb shit. Everything you get is a version of consumerism, which is satanic, demonic, and Luciferian alchemy and transference. Shout out to Asia. It's called transference. Like I said, they worship an inverted God. That means everything is opposite of what it's supposed to be. Everything is opposite. That's the Moloch, whatever you want to fucking call them. It don't matter. They worship an inverted God. Lucifer is supposed to be the light bearer, but you live in darkness. You know what I'm saying? I'm black. I'm supposed to be a black person, but my skin brown and the word black mean pale. You're a nice person, but the word nice means stupid. As you go through it over and over and over and over again, I'm supposed to get married with the state, but marriage is between a man and a woman. So how can I get married with the state when the state is not a man or a woman? I'm supposed to go to work when work means to become yourself, when I already was myself before I worked. I'm supposed to go to a job and work to make money, but money is gold and silver. And on that $100 bill, whatever bill you got, it's no money. There's no dollar sign on there at all, on the front or the back. But in law, you look at the law dictionary, it's gold and silver. Everything with their culture is fake because you're a consumer. You're not human. I'm trying to tell y'all this over and over. All you gotta do is go look. You go research. And this, like I said last stream, if these niggas will lie to you about a word that you can look up, what won't they lie to you about? Milk does a body good. How does milk from a baby cow that y'all made up, how is that good for me? How does that make sense? When the pH of that milk is 6 and the pH of my blood is 7.1, how is that good for me? It's just over and over and over and over. And like I said last stream, a house is an asset. How the fuck is a house that I'm shitting and pissing in, that I'm paying for, that I'm in debt for, that ain't paying me no money? How's that an asset? It's the shit they tell us on a consistent basis that don't make a fucking inch of sense. They don't have no way of being real. But you're going to take it because you're a consumer, because it's about how you feel. It's not about what's real. But they tell that to little boys, little girls. They keep selling that to them, and that's what people missing. You're not even a target as an adult. The babies are a target. Because as they're growing up, it's getting into their subconscious mind. And the prophecy has to be fulfilled for people like me, helping other parents do stuff like this and tell these babies stuff that's not true, because those babies will say, no, that's not true. My dad showed me. When I tell my son stuff, I show him in a dictionary what these words mean. He see it. Like, oh, that's not real. He sees it. So he'll be around his friend and my dad said, no, that's not real. My dad showed me. Then he'll have the ability to show him. So he's going to get trained on financial literacy this summer when he get out of school. So he'll know. And the second you become financially literate, without even learning law, even though to learn financial literacy, you have to be legal and competent in law. You have to understand it. If you don't know that, don't let nobody else lie to you. You have to learn law to be competent in finances, because that's all it's based off of. And you can go to any country, Swab, you have to know religion. You go to any other country, most countries is dictated by their religion. Their religion dictates their law dictates the money. So I don't know why people keep thinking I'm gonna go to money and lead the religion and ignore law to have money. That shit doesn't make any sense.
Wait, but
What's
I was
going on,
gonna
Simply
say,
Deep?
oh, sorry, I was gonna say
There you go.
the broadcast, isn't it the heart as well? You also have to protect the heart because you know your heart is a gateway to God. Though, so if you let your heart become
Yeah,
cold,
that's true.
and it's called Confessions of a Black Heart, so it means though that if you allow it to actually become colder, it means your connection to God is fading, and once it's gone, you feel nothing.
Yeah, that's facts. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
facts. But I talked about that earlier
So
when I say
basic. Sorry.
one second. I talked about that earlier when I was talking about parenting. The couple of things about parenting is that you want to be able to raise a child to be in their adult years and still have their innocence intact. A lot of time that broken heart that you're talking about, Black, because it actually fits pale heart, is because their innocence has been compromised. Because anything God make is good. So the natural behavior of a human being, they're going to expand from where they are. They're not going to stay in that place of turmoil. They'll be able to expand. They'll grow. One cell in your body, one cell turns into two cells turns into four turns into eight into 16 into 32. Everything God makes is good. It will compound. See, that's what I learned about personal growth. I'm like, personal growth was people don't grow, people compound.
Yeah.
And why that's important is because you have to correspond with this sense of urgency. That's why I talk about it so much, because the sense of urgency needs to be reflective of the advancing or changing world around us when it comes to parenting. We have not corresponded with the changing world in the parenting aspect, but we keep pointing to people and having these false expectations of what people are supposed to be doing, but we haven't given the adjacent growth or compounding in parenting and personal and self-development when it comes to raising children and producing people. The technology has changed, the games has changed, the cars has changed, the buildings have changed. We haven't changed.
Wait, so basically the struggle is both external and internal. You can deal with what is outside, but inside, is the true inner battle, though you have to actually face within. Also, it's called looking in the mirror to face the demon within, though, basically. I'm that type of soul, though, for me, when I was growing up, I had no idea who I was, though, because I first rejected my heritage, then it led to other things. I had problems with, how the color of my skin, and then basically I questioned myself, and then I kind of had no idea. So then it led to me basically knowing who I was, though, because I asked God, I prayed to God and said, who am I really, though? Literally, I asked God, who am I really? And God said, though, go study your history, your ancestry, where your family came from, So once I actually looked back and actually talked to my family about it and everything, man. Once I went back, I actually realized who I was, though, because I was actually searching for myself. I'm that type of soul, though. The one who I think the one who's actually closer to God is, I can't remember that one. I can't remember what it was, though, but I know it's something to do with if when, I don't know, I can't remember that. I just know I'm going with it, but I can't remember what I was trying to say.
Okay. Simply
Yeah, I was
Deep
trying to get close to the God.
Simply Deep 1985 says, what's your content about, so I'll know what to ask you or bring up in the future? I said, I'm new here and I want to know, and so that's why I asked. So what we talking about right now is just parenting. I talk about an array of things.
Okay.
Primarily self-development, primarily like as a channel, literally what the title of the channel is, which is World Class Level, kind of bringing people up to date on what's going on. So right now we're talking about parenting and some of the things that relate to that. What's going on, Tommy?
Okay. What up, Tommy? I was going to say, though, Brett, as well, if my parents, by the advice both gave to me, just understand the simple fundamentals first, then you go deeper. So when it comes to, like, the Quran and all of that stuff, though, my mom literally told me, though, literally just understand the basics, know how to read properly. So you read the original language, but then you also read the English translation, too, though. So I read the translation, but I read the original language, too, so I can get a better understanding understanding. Because one, yeah, I can actually read it in Arabic, but do I really actually understand how to? I can study that, but basically, do I actually know the language like that? Oh, not really. That's why I need the translations. I have two copies though, where basically the original language is there, which I know how to read, but then I also have the translation to explain what it means.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically understand. Yeah, continue, sorry.
Yeah, so the basics is important. That's why
Yeah, and also knowing how to pray properly too. That's how I was also, told to do as well. I'm trying to figure out how to pray properly. I know how to pray, but pray with my heart's content. So like basically, when you actually, do the wuzu and stuff like that, how you actually wash your body properly, and then after that, where the direction is, and then also while you're praying, though, make sure your heart's within it though too, though. So basically, and your heart's actually deeply connected though. That's when, when people actually cry or when they have tears in their eyes, it's because they're deeply within it. So I'm trying to actually figure out how to do it properly,
Okay.
Like, it's not just praying for the sake of praying. There's nothing wrong with praying, but so you need to know how to do it, genuinely though. And it's only God knows that though. But you know what I mean? No, man.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
So I just think a lot of what we have experienced in this country and what's going on, you're not going to see no immediate results from direct and having these so-called conversations with adults. I think what's intelligent is and what's going to render results is just investing into the youth, which in turn is going to make you absent to be able to be a punching bag or a portable kiosk for somebody to push your buttons and get their feedback. It's just investing into them and just dealing with people that have a proven record of having integrity, because that's literally how we got here. We've been bypassed as parents, or that some people bypassed us as parents and got to us, right? Gave us the music, gave us the concepts, gave us the want to be thugs, to be the strippers, to be all these degenerate things. Very rarely did we grow up as children, even from our parents, and hear people want to be inventors and farmers and stuff like that. That's fundamental to society. So, I mean, to any civilization. So, I think that's the direction to go in. I watch these panels. I maybe in the future may have these panels when I really get back rolling. But in terms of, having people up, but it'll be obviously to have these conversations to, let them get their shit out when it comes to that. But at the end of the day, how are we going to deposit into the next generation and make it better than what it is? There has to be some type of consensus on what the issue is and how to go in the direction that's going to bring some remedy and redress to these issues. And I only see it as being better parents, helping people that are becoming parents. A lot of times I run into older women or people that's having trouble having a baby. And, in the community that I'm in, you see dramatic changes when you change your diet, change your health, get the right herbs, etc. So it's stuff in there when regular people world is a miracle. To us, it's just simple. It's like you just take 90 days. You can if your womb can be healed, it will be healed. If your sperm count can be repaired, it can be repaired. So it's stuff like that goes into a society, or grows into a civilization, a nation, a kingdom, or empire that we are missing when it comes to the basics, foundations, and fundamentals to being human. And that's being robbed first by identity. Identity, the word identity comes from Edom, IDEM, and it means sameness. And you hear everybody in this consumerism identity constantly try to be different, special, unique, which is in direct opposition to sameness. And
wait, so is that why some people have a crisis when it comes to identity? That's just when it comes to me, though, that's just how I was, though, man. I'm trying to actually recently, right now, 24, trying to figure out more and more. Mine's more on an ethnic type of basic, though, basically, you know. I'm more like the reason for me now, I just consider myself religion first. I'm Muslim first, then I make my nationality second, and then my heritage third, and then my fourth is ancestry, and everything comes after. It's not that I'm not proud of everything. I love everything. It's just I put God over everything, because that's how I managed to get past everything, basically, you know, because God was the one who literally told me, you know, what I should do. And when I followed that direction, I'm actually where I'm supposed to be. That's what I think I am, though. And my mother's like, my parent wish, though, my mother wish, though, for me, though, is to remain in, you know, in my faith. Well, you know, not just when she's here, but when she's gone from this world, she hopes that, you know, I remain in the faith, and also, though, hopefully to carry it on too, though. That's her biggest wish, though.
Yeah. Yeah, but the main goal is to preserve your innocence, preserve the innocence of a society so they can remain spiritual solvent, which is the main currency for spirituality is innocence,
Hmm.
which is the foundation of righteousness, is being in the right place. We're always judged on how we treat our dead and our youngest. I think it's a Bible thing in the Bible about God protects babies and fools or something like that. I don't know what verse it is, if it's even in the Bible. But you always have a responsibility to the innocent, to the dead that made us possible, and it's a lot of disrespect going on with that. So I think I see there's so much errors in listening to these conversations, and I pop in every once in a while. And I've only came out here in the public, having a YouTube channel, hopping on panels, because the problem I seen in my community was there was so many people come in to our community to having access to all of this information with such piss poor research skills. And I'm like, I know what I was taught. Growth only comes from the bottom. And my thing was to jump out here, kind of get a understanding of what's going on. Granted, I know it's because the Rockefellers took over the education system in at least by the 60s. Well, I think it was at the 30s. Fully took over by the 60s. They had a monopoly on it. But at the end of the day, it's just allowing people to understand basic stuff. And the longer time goes, the more you're going to need to understand stuff. So I want to be able to just give people information that I know they needed, whether they came down my community or not. So,
Okay,
it
that's
it just
interesting, though.
hold on. It just needs to be people that public needs to be initiated on, so it can be a fair fight. It could be a fair competition because the people that are running the planet are initiated in private orders and private information that the public is not privy to, and it's not a fair fight. And the judgments that we have aren't equal. That's why a lot of the times I don't really be targeting a single chick. I'll just deal with the identity and what they do in general. Because like earlier today, I forgot who it was, and I was on Ella panel. I think it was a kid, Red Pill something. He was saying, you know, I kind of got a little bit of empathy for some of the chicks because they don't know. And that's oftentimes the situation, you know. I had to explain to them, like the kid Kish asked me, a younger dude Kish, he asked, he has quoted Malcolm X, and Malcolm X saying, a nation can raise no higher than this woman. And that's one of the things that's used, and it kind of pisses off Red Pill and Manosphere guys. But Malcolm X was initiated at an extremely high level. He understands universal law. And what those of us that understand what the law of gender is, knowing what both sides is, like I said, you know, masculinity raises the ceiling, femininity raises the floor. Masculinity is law, femininity is order. So they specifically got females to be in disorder against their nation. Against their nature. Telling you stupid shit like I'm independent. Order is consistent with systems. Systems is an environment. Most women and most females on earth are environmentally dependent. And when you hear them complain, they complain about the environment. You know what I'm saying? So for you to be strong and independent is disproportionate, is absolutely in disorder. A lot of women don't know what a woman is. They don't know what the purpose of a woman is. A woman, as by every story, whether it's Ogun or Unshun, whether it's Asar or Set, whether it's Mary and Jesus or Adam and Eve, every female, every institution or institution, when something is instituted, every institution of a female in any story was for the purpose of this one word and one word alone, and it's not the word nature. It's not, I'm sorry, nurture. It's not the nurture. Nurture means to suck. The word feminine actually means to suck, right? But when you see a woman brought in to every ancient story, it is to preserve. That's what you never hear any of these divine femininity or feminists say. They never say the word preserve. But every institution in every species, in every holy book, women were brought in to preserve what was already there, to keep order on whatever law was put down. Masculinity is law. Femininity is order. Masculinity is the ceiling. Femininity is the floor. My mentor always used to tell me growth only comes from the bottom. And where's the bottom? The floor. And why? Because the children are under the mother. And as the children grow up, so does what? So does the entire nation. And that's what it's about. It's not really about her. It's about what is the sum of the developing ceiling and the raising ceiling and the raising floor. You have a higher standard and a higher level to reach. You know what I'm saying? Which lends to you can build a Tower of Babel, but you can shoot your arrows at God, but you can build your Tower of Babel, but you can't ever reach God. Meaning you don't reach God through a physical building, you reach God through adhering to the fundamental principles of divine law and universal law of gender, etc., and law of polarities, law of correspondence, and stuff like that. So a lot of the public needs to understand that so we don't have a false gender war. Because if we were having a real gender war made out of the atoms in your face, femininity and masculinity, you wouldn't have one. You would explode and implode before you would ever exist. We deal with high science and spirituality beyond quantum physics. So that's that part. When children are taught that, when we have a generation of children that are equipped with sacred knowledge and their innocence intact, I think that's when stuff will change. Not arguing with some chick on the peef or Hamp channel or fucking Tehran channel, some retarded, because they don't give a fuck. They're not even fucking human. A little more. I'm saying, Darrell, you there? Probably about to shut down. Ran my mouth for what is it? 2 hours? Good. That's good.
I'm here still, man. Yeah.
Oh shit! I'm fucking up shit. Yeah, so I think parenting is the way to go. It's amazing to watch children blossom, watch them develop. It's one of the most fulfilling things in the world, especially when they're given the right things. And it's amazing.
Yeah, I agree, though. I mean, I'll learn after when I get married, though. So hopefully, I'm just gonna pray on that, though. I know I'm thinking on hypotheticals right now, but right now, though, bro, I like to plan my future. I don't know everything's gonna go according to plan. It's up to me to decide whether it does or not. But I like to have an idea of where my life is going. You know, I know God knows it and everything like that, but I like to have a rough idea of where I'm going. So hopefully, when I'm probably also gonna, I know I'll probably feel nice when I have my own family too. So, yeah, man.
Well, get a precise idea and a detailed idea by getting down to the minutia of what you want. You can't just have it rough. You need to know exactly what you want.
I have an idea of what I want to do in future, but I also know not everything in life goes according to a plan, though. And I know God knows, what actually, is for me. But, I have to actually work towards that. So for now, I gotta focus on me first, and then I have to build to it. I'm not changing. You're right. I actually have to have a plan of what I have to have in future. But I like to plan my future, and I hope wherever it goes, it's gonna be good. And so I pray on that. Because I also know that if I think positive, I get positive. Because of course, though, I
Hey,
have to
what's
do the
good
work.
with you?
Okay.
Hey,
Get your clown ass out of there. I see what he put in the chat. Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so basically, we're also conscious and subconscious beings too. So if you think positive, if you get positive, of course you gotta do the work while you're doing it. But also,
Of course.
subconsciously when you actually think something, right, it actually consciously goes to your brain, and then basically what you say becomes true though. That's just how I see it though, but it's more than that, I guess.
Oh, of course, there's more than that. You got to be. You can want to program yourself. You know, do the subconscious mind, but at the end of the day, you have to actually actively make sure the information, the direction you're going is accurate down to the detail best you can, and focus and dial in on that. If that's what you want, you got to know what you got to do. If you want to be married and take care of a woman and have a child, you need to look at as many aspects of what that takes, learning from people that does it. Would you go to the market? What type of, would you take bags to the market? How would you carry the bags? Get down to the finer details on what you want to do and get to work. So when you
Mm-hmm.
present yourself to a woman, show and you have that planned out, you know that this is a person that has a plan. You know what I'm saying? Learning how to plan from people that plan, learning how to from people that do it at an extremely high level. You know what I'm saying? And that'll make things simpler for you when you find out that people have had these ideas and these thoughts and these fears and concerns before you, and you can actually operate at a genius level and use the way a genius has already used, and you're not basically taking an intellectual inheritance where you don't have to use your brain to figure it out and use a genius's brain and be able to present that to the women that you want to be with.
Right. But then I also have to also remember what God's plan too. Of course, though, yeah, I get you on that
Indeed.
aspect. But of course. So I also have to remember though, like, look, I can have all these plans, but then also God will let me know that, look, I know this is what you're thinking and this is what you're planning, but I've got something better for you.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, so that aspect too, I get it. I'm thinking of course, though, I have to plan and everything is saying, of course, I have to have a plan, how I'm going to do it and all of that. But I also have to think about what God wants me to do, truly. So, like, when I'm praying, no, I'm saying, look, God, this is what I'm doing for you as well. Because, this world is actually temporary. We're only here for life is a test or punishment, depending on the deeds and everything like that. But then basically in the afterlife, we get everything that we truly desire. And there's 7 levels to paradise. And I actually hope to go to paradise. I know the 7th level is the highest and you get to meet God face to face. But I just hope to end up in a good place, in the afterlife. Because you can act, some people where it is, they have everything here, but then spiritually they have nothing.
Well, let me help you with a few things. One, when you have to, it's called a law of correspondence. As above, so below. As below, so above. As within, so without. As without, so within. You got to speak to a thing in its nature, not what it is as it relates to you. Do you understand that part?
Mm-hmm.
Explain a thing and talk about a thing as it exists, irrespective of your existence. So life is not temporary. Life is immortal. You're being here. I got you. Trust and believe. I understand exactly what you mean. But you got to be respectful, right? Your
Mm-hmm.
life has been here before you came here. It'll be here after. So when you're here, you can't treat life like it's temporary. You have to treat life like it's immortal. It will always exist. You just won't.
Okay, that makes sense though. You ain't wrong though when you mean by life is not temporary. But I mean the body you're a part of though. You know, the one I'm not talking about that aspect though. I get you on what you're saying, but I'm saying, you know what I mean by, you know,
even the body
temporary.
is not temporary. Because
Okay.
it's going to go on to be it's going to go on to be food for the worms. It's going to grow on to be eggs. It's going to grow into another being. It's going to go into the soil eventually. It's not even temporary, right? The
Okay.
only thing that's temporary is that thing you call a soul.
Okay.
It's only here for a while, and temporary just means temporal. That's all it
Okay.
means.
No, I get you on that though. I'm just thinking on a simple level, but I see what you mean
Yeah,
though when you explain
yeah,
everything.
yeah. I get what you're saying, and you're not wrong in that aspect. But you got to be thorough when you say things, because, like you said, you get the energy you put out. So if you make sure what you're saying is accurate, you'll get accurate back. If you put out inaccurate, you'll get inaccurate back. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense though.
Absolutely.
But look, I appreciate you having me up. I'm just gonna
No, no
hop
problem.
down though.
Appreciate you. You be safe.
You're welcome.
Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Dub Will is sleep. But I had to come and put some stuff on wax, man. That was on my mind. Again, all the Corey Holcomb stuff going on, Anton stuff going on. Epstein files going on. I'm aware of it. I'm seeing it. Like I said before in the last live, I'm stockpiling stuff I'm going to respond to when I get back to really making videos and doing lives. My lives is going to be, I'm going to be orchestrating panels, and I want to bring up as many new people as possible when I start doing panels consistently and doing videos. Not going full time, but really want to kick this stuff off the way it need to be kicked off. But at the end of the day, but when I come to do YouTube, I'm gonna do it at the best availability, or like the best ability that I have, and I want to be able to do it and have fun with it, but really educate and to make a deposit. I'm not really here to make a withdrawal in this space. I'm here to make a deposit and give people exactly what they need, irrespective of if they need it or not. So y'all can't look back and say God ain't send y'all nobody, or nobody came and told you that. I want to tell all the important things, like we talked about consumer today is extremely important. Talk about parenting today, how to discipline your child, how to preserve their innocence, how to teach them how to listen. You don't, like they said in Avatar, I can't show you how to see, but I can show you what to look for. And we can work on your pattern recognition. You know what I'm saying? And have these babies growing up with about 20 trades, 20 skills, maybe 10 trades, 20 skills. Um, that are life work, you know what I'm saying, that can help them develop themselves at a high level. That's why I find the most passion in life is watching children develop, um, watching them go from one step to the next step. I'm very proud of my son from his first little tiff to from I say about 2 months ago to where he is now. It takes hard work. It's the same for everybody. You got to give everything you got as much as possible. It's hard to remember to do the right thing, especially when you're starting out, but it's a part of life. This moment in his life, he's going to use it for the rest of his life, whether he remembers it or not. And it's the aspect of making a mistake and changing your behavior and being effective long range. It's a lot to make a fucking U-turn while you're driving a million miles an hour and go the other direction. And pride, it probably hits the pride a little bit. So I see that as what needed to happen in these conversations about relationships is just so intensely inaccurate and non-applicable. So it's going to take time. Like even in my community, why again, a part of why I'm here is because I knew it was going to take them in the Morse community some time to hear me. I used to tell them that all the time. It's going to take y'all twice as long, if not 3 times as long, to hear me. Tragedies is going to happen. Then y'all be over here in droves. I already seen it. I'm like, yeah, I'm be over here like this nigga was saying it the whole time. This one nigga knew. Somebody gonna research the shit and see what I was talking about. Like, hey, this nigga's insane it the whole time. And I already know. But operating at a world-class level, we show up early, we stay late. I just came here about 5 or 6 years too early. Not too early, but it's 5 or 6 years early. Knowing it's gonna take some time. That's why I ain't really been caring. That's why I ain't really been going crazy, because I'm here early. That's what it's been this entire time. I'm supposed to be over here. I'm here because what nobody else here. But it seems like everywhere I be showing up and be in the chat, that channel be going crazy. This is our time. You know what I'm saying? And I can't wait to fully be back. I meant to go live last night. But I got doing this last two. I'm trying to do the best I can to get back in rhythm. I tested talking on a tablet. Was it on the tablet? Talking on a tablet last time. I wanted to hear with a few modifications what this might sound like in this one. But I want to talk about something I cared about so I can just go and when I listen to this over and over again or whatever, or edit it, I can have clear and concise outlook. I can clip it up and clip this live up from the things I've said so I don't have to fucking repeat myself over and over again. And, put it on Facebook, put it on YouTube, put it on IG. And bring the conversation of being better parents to the forefront. It's the most fulfilling and rewarding to actively work on your parenting and seeing the results. Like I took all of that, be a hustler, millionaire mindset and put it into being parenting because it's the best thing I can do is produce a better version of me, and it's rewarding when you see the effects, the idea you have and the mindset you have actually take form of a whole nother person that blink and jump and laugh and smile. And instead of trying to make some girl or some nigga do what you want them to do, is invest into the one that's already in a boat with you, and that's your child. So, if you so lucky to have a child, it's a blessing and it's an honor to be around innocent souls. That's how I look at it. And I appreciate it a lot. It's an honor to be amongst them, and I want them to have that same viewpoint, not only when they're adults, but when they're around the other innocent children like them, and help each other, preserve each other, because that's one of the skills that we're missing is preservation. Because they've eliminated real femininity from the world, and they think femininity is complaining about stuff when femininity is preservation. So, man, I'm excited to see this take hold, to see what happens from this. I think it's about dinner time, and I'm about to chill out and work on my craft, which is something I've been working on outside of YouTube since I've kind of been here, making progress there. So, we're looking to do some big shit, at least by the second half of this year. Thought it would be done by now, but minor hiccups. Things coming out of nowhere. Last year was so tough, and I'm just so focused on just finishing this story on my terms, on an extremely high level, like we supposed to. So I'm excited, man. I think next time I go live, we can do the review thing that we love to do in this space. Review a video, review some stuff. I got so many fucking videos to look up, man. I got a lot of shit. I got a lot of shit. I keep fucking forgetting until I get right here. I gotta fix my PSU. Damn, I fucking forgot this whole time to the last time. I gotta fix my PSU on my main computer. I'm using my laptop. I was having problems with my laptop earlier because it was overheating because I ain't have it like pushed up. So I got to get my PSU together, and then I'll have all of my powers. I'm missing some of my powers, like my board for my OBS, but the mic has been kind of fucking fire. Let me see, because I ain't had my filter in. Like, I don't got my board like I usually have, but I can crank this bitch up to, let me see, where we at? 2244. Let me see. I can crank this bitch up to this. Make that motherfucker a little louder. Hold up. Let me see. Actually, I gotta play with the settings a little bit. Let me see. I can bring the motherfucker up to this. Make the motherfucker loud. You know what I mean? I can just fit that. I got some witchcraft. Let me bring this shit back down. Hold up. I'll put it about right there. Yeah. Yeah, man. We up, man. Yeah. Oh man, I tell you, I'm excited, bro. Oh, hold up. What the fuck you did about fucking other shit? That shit that didn't help. Whatever. I don't give a shit. Why the fuck did I do that? Yeah, so when I get my PC, it's not difficult. I just gotta get I gotta troubleshoot it first. That's the reason I don't really know if it's the power supply unit or the no, it's not the RAM or the motherboard. I think it's the motherboard, but I don't know. And because I'm not like a super fucking technician in computers, I'm gonna have to just buy stuff and figure it out. But if it's not the PSU, I'm gonna get a whole new computer anyway, so it'll be that, and I'll be going fucking nuts after that. So got a little computer issue. I think we can go from there. But we got to get out of here, man. I'm about to get back and work on this craft, work on this project, this system I've been working on for years, perfecting. It just takes so much time, bro. When you create stuff from thin air, that's like extremely. It takes so much energy and noting and testing, and it's just difficult. I would, it'd have been cool if I'd have just been working on a tangible physical product or brick and mortar. It'd have been one thing, it'd have been easier, but this should take so much mental fucking work, and it's difficult as fuck. Take a lot of work. Now, I need another genius. Yes, I'm referring to myself as a genius. I don't know, y'all miss me. I ain't been my super arrogant self. Because I haven't really needed to, and I gotta keep my mind off of like the way it usually is, so I can just dial into this shit. When you have stuff that can pay shit 8 or 9 figures a month, you kind of lock in, you know what I mean? So I gotta re-emphasize that. I just think I know for a fact, I know in my heart that if some of the tactics, some of the technology, I'll say that word, in parenting is ever go viral, it ever becomes a topic, and helping people be brought up to speed on what can be done, acknowledging the fact that all this advancement in technology and social constructs, computers, phones, movies, media, transportation, if it can be matched in parenting, if we can catch up, I think that'll be a big deal. It's like highlighting that it hasn't happened. If we can make that happen, I think we'll be all right, because we'll see a lot of the errors that we see. We'll notice the origin of the errors that we see on a day-to-day basis in people, and along with the fact that a lot of these motherfuckers are not even human at all, not even conceptually not human or spiritually not human, they're fucking actual clones and robots, which is a whole different conversation. To where I want to say a lot of what I see, a lot of what I do is like, what to dismiss and what not to dismiss. A lot of people's mindset is based off dismissiveness, and when you have that dependency, and when your dismissiveness is met with the truth, it don't work. You really destroy yourself when you try to dismiss truth, because you can't dismiss truth without dismissing you. And that's primarily what people do when they run into the truth. You have to dismiss parts of yourself, and that begins, neglect begins at that point. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be it for this live. Appreciate y'all for coming through. It's going to be one of those abrupt endings. I have to ramp back up, get my editing skills updated, and I got to get my tech fixed first. Then we can get back to this software skills, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Come back. I'm gonna have a new look. I'm not cammed up most of the time because my son be right here. We have a new setup. Branding gonna be different. Shout out to Tommy B. He changed his branding, and yeah. So you know what I say, man. It ain't but 2 classes on this planet, never been 3. You either world class or you outclass. And the question is not which class you want to live in. The question is which class are the ones coming behind you deserve you to die in, on your feet or on your knees. Respect the craft. Noble.